B, me name's Lauren, 43. Run a small branding agency wedged above a Pilates studio. Spent a decade grinding it out with spreadsheets, late nights, and stubborn faith that quality work eventually pays off. Used to be the junior analyst getting called sweetheart while presenting data the client already owned. Now I'm the one signing checks for a team of 11 and pretending my hands don't shake every payroll. Friday we do brand strategy, websites, launch copy, basically act like the calm adult voice companies borrow when they start spiraling. Clients are mostly manufacturers, healthcare startups, and painfully dull service companies trying to look modern without actually changing anything. Most weeks run on autopilot inbox before coffee meetings, stacked midday revisions late at night. Then some sad dinner I barely taste. One thing I actually designed on purpose was the office culture pronoun, pins on badges, clear behavior policy, quarterly training about actions. Not buzzwords. Team ended up mostly women, because hiring pipelines are weird. Not because I'm filtering dudes at the door, still openly feminist, don't hide it. Hiding never saved me back when I was starting out. Learned a long time ago, neutral usually just means stay quiet, so nobody gets uncomfortable noticing you. So I built a place where my team wouldn't have to laugh off garbage just to keep their jobs. Growth stayed steady for years. Upgraded laptops, finally stopped buying office chairs from thrift stores. Felt like we were doing everything right. Then the last 6 months started drifting sideways. Nothing obvious, just off calls went. Great. Emails were warm proposals, got compliments, everything looked like it should close. Then after in-person meetings, deals just quietly died, like someone pulled the plug. When I wasn't looking first time. I blamed budget, safest excuse in business second time. Blamed timing vague enough to avoid thinking too hard by the third one. This cold knot settled behind my ribs and never really left 7 prospects gone in 6 months, every single one ending the same way, rejection emails, all copy-paste, polite, we're going in a different direction, appreciate your time, no details, no pushback, no maybe later. Just a soft door-closing pattern. Hunting is dangerous, but founders do it anyway. Fear needs something to solve the one pattern I couldn't ignore. Every decision maker was a guy mid-40s, CEO or founder type. Holding the budget on calls, they sounded pumped, sometimes even relieved, like we were exactly what they needed. Then they'd come in, sit across from me in our conference room, and something shifted tone, gets cautious energy drops. Then poof, gone. Monday morning, 7th rejection, hits my inbox. Coffee tastes metallic. Before I finish reading cash, forecast says, our safety buffer is shrinking, and that buffer is the only thing between business owner and full panic mode. Rent doesn't care about values. Payroll doesn't care about mission. IRS definitely doesn't care about either team, starts picking up on it. Offices are basically emotional seismographs. Megan, my ops lead, starts asking if we should delay a hire. We already promised Chris, account director, suddenly tightening scopes like we're bracing for impact. Annika, junior strategist, staying late unasked, which is sweet, and also kind of crushing denial. Says it's the market. CRM says it's me in the room. That night, I call my business coach, Rachel. She charges enough to be brutally honest without apologizing, listens to me. Ramble, then asks something way too simple. Walk me through your first 15 minutes in those meetings. I go through the script intros, portfolio highlights, then culture and standards. Tell her I explain our inclusive approach, zero tolerance for sexism, values-driven work. Mention we prefer progressive clients and don't waste time on hostility. Rachel goes quiet, then asks what the guys do. While I'm saying all that, I get defensive, say they nod. Polite smiles, awkward laughs, sometimes stiff. I add that discomfort is normal when people face privilege because that's what I've been telling myself. She exhales like she's choosing words carefully. Lauren, you're making them feel like they're on trial before they've even hired you. Heat shoots up my neck. Criticism always feels like getting erased even when it's not. I push back, say, transparency matters. Say, I'm proud of what we built and they should respect it. She doesn't argue. Feminism, she goes straight to sales psychology, which is way harder to dodge, tells me to imagine walking into a firm that opens by saying they prefer working with men and don't trust women. Leader says I'd walk out even if their work was amazing, because I'd feel unwelcome before I even spoke. Logic hits. Pride immediately tries to block it. Pride basically acting like a bouncer for my ego. After the call, I just sit there staring at my pitch deck, start noticing how early the values slide shows up. Deck basically opens with rules, warnings, and a vibe, like I'm screening them, not pitching stomach drops. I've always said I hate being judged the second I walk into a room, and here I am doing exactly that. Tuesday morning, my partner Rachel shows up early, laptop in hand, looks exhausted. She handles ops and finance, so she spots problems way before I admit they're real. She opens a folder, says she's been quietly collecting feedback through mutual contacts for months. First reaction is irritation, feels like spying. Second reaction hits right after shame, that it even got to the point where someone had to spy to save me. She turns the screen toward me. Screenshots everywhere, short messages from people we both know, all saying basically the same thing. Great agency, but the founder got political right away. Felt more like a values check than a business convo. Super capable team, but weird energy in the meeting. One hits harder. I support equality, but it felt like I had to prove I wasn't the enemy. It's all so clean and consistent, it's brutal. Rachel reminds me she tried to bring this up before, and I shut her down, accused her of prioritizing male comfort over team safety. Memory stings, because I remember exactly how confident I sounded. Confident and tired and completely sure I was. Right, she pulls up a specific example. Meeting with a medical equipment company. Husband and wife running it together. I remember that one I focused almost entirely on the wife in my head. I framed it as empowering. Rachel tells me the wife actually felt awkward because I basically treated her husband like he didn't exist. Says they hired a competitor the next week and told people I was exhausting. That word lands heavy. Exhausting is what people say when they don't have the energy to fight you. Office is quiet behind the glass. I can hear my team laughing about something, completely unaware. I'm sitting here dissecting my own mistakes. Rachel closes the laptop, just says, "Our reputation is spreading faster than our work now. That hits worse than losing deals. Reputation doesn't wait for invoices." I ask her what I'm supposed to do. Like a kid asking how to fix something already broken, she tells me to stop turning. First meetings into interrogations. Start by listening. Instead, says bad clients will show themselves eventually, but good ones leave. If they feel accused right away, I still want more proof. My brain hates giving up control without certainty. So I pick one lost prospect to email. Not the biggest account, not the scariest, just a clean, normal case. Guy named Daniel runs a mid-sized software company, turned us down 2 months ago. With no explanation, I ask for honest feedback. Promise I'm not going to argue. Isispaam labim storidabor. Just want to improve. Reply comes back in under an hour, feels like jumping into freezing water. Daniel starts polite, then gets very direct, and somehow that's worse. Says he liked our portfolio, thought the team seemed sharp, which makes the next part sting more. Says the meeting felt like he was being evaluated as a person before we even talked about his business. Says I asked about diversity numbers before I asked about his product. Says I cut him off mid-answer more than once. Says when he mentioned his early team, I made a joke about tech bro founders, and my face clearly didn't hide what I thought. Says he believes in inclusion, but didn't show up to be judged by someone. He just met the line that sticks the most. I was looking for a partner, not a test. He ends it by saying he hopes I can keep my values without making people feel pushed away. I read it twice. Then again, eyes start burning, like right before crying. No anger in the message, no rant. Just calm, clear description of how uncomfortable I made him. Rachel reads it too. Doesn't smile because this kind of win is mostly regret. We've got 2 meetings scheduled that week. Both solid budgets, both male. CEOs suddenly feel like final exams. We rewrite the agenda, their story first, their problems second, our culture last. Only if it even comes up. Rachel offers to sit in and take notes on how I act. Like a silent observer, making sure I don't slip. Wednesday meeting rolls around manufacturing tech company rebranding after a messy merger. CEO's name is Kevin, 48 looks, tired, polite smile, hands that look like he's actually worked with real machinery. I notice his eyes flick to our inclusion poster near the door. My stomach tightens immediately. Instead of launching into my usual speech, I force out something different, rehearsed, but real. Kevin, walk me through what changed and what's on the line for you. He pauses, then starts talking. And once he starts, he doesn't stop, like he's been waiting for someone to just listen. explains the merger, mess, internal conflicts, sales team, arguing customers, getting nervous, questions come out of me naturally. How are you measuring success? What constraints are you dealing with? What timeline matters most? For the first time in months, the room feels cooperative, not like some quiet standoff. Kevin asks about our process. I walk him through workshops, messaging, design systems, rollout, training, no warnings, no lectures, no list of what beliefs are acceptable. Near the end, he asks how team diversity impacts creative work. I answer simply, say different perspectives, help catch blind spots and speak to more people. Honestly, he nods, says that makes sense, thanks me for a productive meeting. After he walks out, Rachel just says, "The room stayed calm." She sounds almost surprised. It worked that easily. Friday rolls in with another meeting, family-owned consumer brand trying to look younger without losing their base. CEO is Tom, 59. Exactly the kind of guy I used to mentally label old school before he even opened his mouth. This time, I don't do that, force myself into curiosity. Instead, ask about how his daughter fits into the future of the company. He lights up talking about her, says she pushes him, teaches him things, admits he doesn't have all the answers. Catches me off guard, conversation. Stays grounded, brand history, customer segments, product lines, retail plans, budget limits. Near the end, Tom leans back. Says he's heard. I can get a little intense about politics in meetings. My face heats up instantly, but I breathe and don't dodge it. Tell him I've been overdoing it, and I'm actively fixing that. He nods, says, having values is fine. Being treated like the bad guy isn't. Thanks me for keeping it. Focused, says he'll review everything with his team. 2 weeks later, both Kevin and Tom sign contracts. Nothing huge, but enough steady work to keep the lights on. And everyone paid. Team celebrates with grocery store cupcakes. I feel relief mixed with embarrassment. For how many months I burned, later that same month, another prospect comes. A younger founder named Tyler, nervous energy. Hoodie under a blazer, runs scheduling software for clinics. Not flashy, just boring healthcare admin that quietly makes money on the call. He was engaged. Respectful, I tell myself to keep this one clean. Meeting starts, solid questions first. Goals first. Timelines first. My brain finally relaxes a bit. Halfway through, he mentions their engineering team is currently all male, says they're trying to diversify as they grow, and right there, old habits snap back like muscle memory. My mouth moves before my brain can stop it. Some comment about tech guys always saying that slips out not loud, but sharp enough to change the air. Tyler's smile freezes for just a second, and that's all it takes. Rest of the meeting goes. Careful, polite, distant. He asks a couple process questions, shakes my hand the same tight way the others did, and leaves. Next morning, email shows up. Same script, moving forward with another partner, loss number 8. Not the biggest, but it stings more, because I know exactly when I screwed it up. Rachel and I break it down after she replays the moment. Like game footage says, my tone shifted before the words even landed. Says my face showed judgment faster than I realized. That's when it clicks. This isn't just about removing a slide from a deck. It's retraining my instincts in real time. So, we get serious about it. Start recording internal mock meetings. Listen back for every sharp edge, every weird tone, shift, every interruption. Each week, I drill the first 15 minutes, open with curiosity, close with clear. Next Steps team gets permission to call me out immediately. Even if we're mid-meeting, even if a client is sitting right there. Annika is the first to actually do it. Clears her throat when I start generalizing, cuts me off. Just enough saves the tone slowly. Things start shifting. Not perfect, but better meetings. Stop feeling like walking through a minefield. Over the next couple months, more calls, more meetings. Same approach keeps working. Leads. Still ask about culture. But now it happens after trust is built. Not before the handshake even settles. Stress in the office drops. Chris stops tightening scopes like we're about to crash. Rachel loosens up. On the forecasts a bit, but consequences don't just disappear. And that part sucks the most. One morning I get an email from a local business newsletter list of fastest growing startups, scrolling through it casually until a name jumps out. Daniel's company expanding into a second city, hiring a full marketing team. Announcement mentions their new brand clarity and credits the agency, not my competitor's logo. Sitting there like it's mocking me. Throat tightens, keep scrolling, another familiar name. That medical equipment company, we lost, they just launched a new product line, new website, everywhere. Case study credited to the same competitor. The work looks good and way too close to what we pitched. Then anger tries to flare up, but reality shuts it down. Ideas travel decks get shared. That's how this works. Then LinkedIn starts piling on. Every founder post feels like salt in a wound. One former prospect posts their new office sign, tagging the competitor with glowing praise. Another announces a marketing hire, casually references a messaging framework that sounds very familiar. Adds a wink emoji. A third company runs ads on the light rail. I see them twice in a week, like the city itself is reminding me what I lost. Rachel forwards. Me a conference schedule for some regional marketing event. Downtown one panel, title makes my stomach drop instantly. Building trust and values-driven branding for regulated industries. Speakers listed include my competitor's founder and 2 client leaders. One name jumps out immediately. Daniel, the fintech CEO who turned us down last month. His company isn't some unicorn fantasy, just a fast-growing local firm with real money behind it. Idea of sitting there, listening to him, praise someone else. Feels like poking a bruise. I buy a ticket anyway. Conference day shows up. I sit in the back row with burnt coffee and zero confidence. Daniel gets up and talks like he's done this 100 times. Growth, hiring. How brand clarity lowered churn. He compliments the competitor, says they kept everything professional, says the process felt easy. Competitor's founder, standing there smiling like she sleeps 8 hours and never checks her bank account. Slides keep flipping. Then one hits me like a punch. Headline reads, build trust first, then bring the mission to life. My vision tunnels, that line is mine, not legally mine, but mine, written at like 1 a.m. months ago, said out loud. In our pitch meeting, now it's sitting under someone else's logo, and it's not even theft. I handed it over in a meeting that made them want to leave networking hour. Starts people walking around with tiny plates and big fake smiles. My plan is to disappear. Somehow I end up by the coffee station instead. Daniel walks up next to me, grabs a cup, doesn't recognize me at first, then reads my badge. His face shifts neutral to careful, like he remembers exactly how that meeting felt. We do the usual small talk, attendance, weather, pointless filler, instead of escaping. I ask the thing I've been rehearsing. Hey, can I ask why you passed after our meeting? Keep my voice steady. He pauses like he's deciding how honest to be. Then exhales, starts with a compliment about the work. Says my team seemed sharp, then gets real. Says the meeting felt like a trial. Says my opening sounded like a list of bad men. And he heard himself on it. From his perspective, supporting equality. Didn't matter if he still felt assumed. Guilty says the stress they were under made it worse. So he picked the option that felt safe and simple. That word safe hits harder than anything, because I thought I was creating safety for my team. He keeps going. Mentions their marketing budget increased that quarter, and that money stayed with the competitor on a monthly retainer. My brain does the math, automatically steady, monthly fees, expansion projects, referrals through investors. Not crazy billionaire money, just stable. Reliable income, the kind that pays, raises better equipment, maybe even a weekend off later. I walk past the competitor's booth, overhear someone casually mention $12,000 a month. Easy renewal number isn't insane, but it equals like 2 junior salaries getting bumped stuff. I delayed because I kept telling myself the market sucked. Walking away, it clicks. Those lost deals weren't about ego. They were oxygen for my entire team. That thought sticks all the way back to the next session. I turn back to Daniel. Apologize, no defense, no explanation, just own. It feels humiliating and weirdly freeing. At the same time, he looks relieved, says he respects people who ask. Instead of doubling down, offers to connect me with another founder, says he believes in second chances. Walking back to my car feels like leaving a funeral, except what died is my old certainty back at the office. No big speeches were part of the problem. I call a meeting, tell the team, straight up. I used armor in sales calls, and it pushed trust away. Say, our values aren't changing, but first meetings are now service first. Curiosity first, collaboration first. Rachel updates process, docs, Megan adjusts forecasts. Chris reworks templates. Whole room feels lighter. Weeks go by. New approach. Keeps working. But that conference conversation keeps replaying in my head. One night, I open a folder of old lost deals, start listing them in a spreadsheet, like some kind of self-inflicted punishment. Next to each one, I write who they hired. What they launched after. Picture that forms is brutal and boring. Stable companies growing, paying someone else, recommending someone else. What hurts isn't jealousy. It's knowing we could have been part of that. Those weren't bad clients, they were potential long-term partners. I just pushed them away. Months later, email pops up from Daniel, includes an intro. Short note. She listens first now and keeps it professional. Chest. Actually loosens. Reading that new lead is a logistics company, messy brand, urgent timeline, decent budget, skeptical CEO, first meeting. I stick to it. Questions about their problems, their customers, their internal chaos values come up later. Naturally, because they ask, deal, gets. Signed, then expanded, then renewed. Nobody feels like they're being judged. Next quarterly meeting. Annika mentions client calls. Feel calmer. Says the team feels more respected. Adds that, watching me change made growth feel real. Not just something we sell. Compliment hits in a good but uncomfortable way. Reminds me how much pressure I dumped on them. Before sometimes the old instinct still shows up. Urge to warn, to push, to protect. By going on offense when it does. Rachel taps her notebook, raises one eyebrow, and I think about that slide again. Lesson stays stupidly simple. Treat people like individuals. First, not categories, values. Still matter. But if you deliver them like suspicion, you build a wall that keeps everyone out, even the good ones. TFW, you think you're building a fortress, then realize you locked yourself inside it. TFW, you realize the clients you lost weren't against you. They just didn't want to feel accused. TFW, you watch them win with someone else and understand exactly what it cost. TFW, you learn. Respect is given up front and trust comes from listening, not lecturing.